spot for regular season. How things going?
It's good.
Yes.
Just kind of going through some of our bullet points, and not a really hard practice, more of a light practice, but making sure we review Brooklyn and just the things that we want to come in the game with our mindset. We want to come in the game and get certain things accomplished. So we went through those scenarios today in practice.
How much have you been able to look at the starting five in these last couple of practices?
Well, they didn't play a lot. Well, they didn't play any during the preseason, so it kind of is what it is. We'll work through it as we go through games.
How do you balance that? Do you have a plan, like right now, like with the staff, this is what I want to do, and then it just kind of evolves organically, or do you just kind of say, we'll see how it goes once we start playing?
No, we definitely have a plan for how we want to play guys, minutes, things like that. But you guys always, the game changes, and we have to adjust depending on what's going on in the game. And when that happens, we'll make some adjustments. But right now, we do have a plan of how we want our guys to play, minutes that we want them to play, what groups we want to play together, and then we go from there.
How deep is your rotation right now? Do you want to go 10? Do you want to go more? I know you had like a lot of numbers that you like to use before, but
I'm not sure. For sure, 10. Could be more. Could be a little, possibly a little less. Once again, the game dictates a lot for us. Foul trouble dictates who's got it going, who goes over their minutes. So it all determines, and those are things that we try to leave a little room to have some adjustments in there.
How much of an emphasis has been getting off to a better start this year?
It's a big emphasis. I think it's important for our group to get off to a good start. So Wednesday's game will be a good test for us. It's a good team that we're playing against in Brooklyn. This will be a good road trip for us, and we're looking to get there and get after it.
So it's hard to dig out once you get into a certain hole, right, like you did last year.
It is. We don't want to make that a habit of getting into a hole, but our mindsets is, just kind of chop the season up in 10 games. So looking at a 10-game window, what's our record after 10 games? And then we look at stats, things that we can do better, things that we're doing really well, we try to hold on to. But we definitely want to get off to a good start.
Did you hear what Durant said about Zion? Did you see that?
I did.
Well, he just said that he's a special guy, kind of like a once-in-a-lifetime guy, that somebody his size can do what he does to you. I was wondering, I guess you whatever he said, you agree, right?
I agree with that for sure. Durant is right. He's a once-in-a-lifetime talent. Not that other guys aren't talented, but his size, his speed, his strength, and I don't think he gets enough credit for his IQ. Very smart basketball player, understands how to make correct passes, who's open, how to get open. You just don't see a lot of guys like Z.
Will you use him in ways we haven't seen so far?
Which ways would that be? 'Cause I've seen him in a number of ways: handling the ball, post up, transition. I'll try to use him. I'll say this: I'll try to use him as best we can to put him in the spots for him to be successful, whatever that means at the time.
Do you tell your guys maybe not to pay attention? I mean, there's people talking about your team. They had a big segment on national TV today about what you all could be, or do you kind of like maybe being the underdog mentality and under the radar?
There are certain things that we can't control. What teams or what people say about us, expectations that may be placed on us. We try to concentrate on the things that we can control. We can sprint, turn, talk, and get back in transition. We can contest shots. We can make sure that, we guard the ball and our pick and roll coverages are sound. Offensively, we can play fast. We can share the ball. And, we want to have an opportunity to win big. Those things allow us to do it, not really focusing on what's being said about us, but focusing on the work that allows us opportunities to win games.
What is your definition of big?
Big. As big as you can win, that's my definition of it. Like, wherever that takes us, we want to win big.
Willie, tomorrow you start off in Brooklyn, 8 of the first 11 on the road. Do you think going on the road for all these many games to start the season can be a good thing for your team?
It can. it's definitely an opportunity for us to start off on the road, however many games that is. It's also a bonding time for us, being in hotels, eating dinner together, guys playing cards, hanging out, getting to know more of your teammates and even our staff. So it's definitely an opportunity in there.
You expect to see the end of the room on? Expect Zion
I'm definitely hopeful, and he went through 2 practices, looked fine, and we'll see how he feels after shoot around, but we're hopeful for sure.
Any minutes restriction on him at all if he plays?
I'll talk more with the medical team, medical staff, performance staff, and get that get a defined what type of minutes we want to have for him. But right now we haven't had those talks.
Well, you're going to be mindful of everybody's minutes to start off the season. Like, you don't want to all of a sudden see Brandan play over 35, CJ, stuff like that.
Yeah, we try to be mindful of minutes because it's a long season. We're practicing, things like that. But, there's times in the game where those guys have it going or it's a late game situation and, they don't want to come out. So then you try to manage their minutes the next game. So it's definitely something we're conscious of. And then the last thing is our guys play so hard, and we have depth that it's hard to play guys 37, 38 minutes a night, every night. That'll be hard for us to do, but we'll see how it goes. I've been on a number of teams that's close-knit. This is one of them, for sure. This is another team that's really close-knit and something we take pride in.
Coach, how do you manage the guys who can play at a high level in the league and maybe aren't getting a lot of minutes? You were kind of in that spot as a player. How do you manage that person or persons?
Well, you guys have been around sports a long time. In most sports, basketball, baseball, football, whatever it is, you're going to get an opportunity at some point. So talking to our guys about that mindset of not being deflated because the opportunity is not here today, but taking advantage of the opportunity when it presents itself. So what are the things that you're doing when you're not playing? As tough as it is, you got to be happy for your teammates that's out there and rooting for them. Because when the roles are reversed, you want them happy for you and rooting for you. But let's put the work in and let's put our mindsets on what can I do to help the team. And those are conversations that I have with some guys and I will have to have with some guys.
Is Hernan Gomez a kind of a prime example of somebody like that?
Well, he's a guy that every year he plays, and he takes advantage of his opportunities when they present themselves. But it's because of the work that he puts in. But then off the court, he's cheering his teammates on. He brings a ton of energy to our group. He's helpful for me. And he's a prime example of a guy that is carving out a really good career because of how he handles the ups and downs of an NBA season.
It's going to be our first test, We've been practicing against each other. Preseason games went good. We finally get to go against other people and try to see how good we worked in training camp.
Do you like the expectations, obviously? I mean, for the first time since you got here, they seem real and significant. I mean, how does it feel to enter a season with real expectations?
What are the? I don't know the expectations. I know the expectation that we have for ourselves is just to get better every single game and be more of a winning team, but I don't know the outside expectation.
How important has these last 2 days of practice been, having all 5 of you guys, since you weren't able to play a preseason game together?
It's good for our execution. Of course, having Big Fella back and having everybody in the fold, even Jackson was back today. Just getting to know the new things that we put in on the offense and defensive end, and hopefully we can take it from practice and go into the game and it just comes fast.
There's been a video going around on social the last few days of you basically mirroring Kobe's moves from the playoffs. How much Kobe film do you watch? I know you talked about how much the film you watch on random stuff, but how much Kobe film do you watch?
He's up there with some of the MJ film that I watch a lot. His face just comes across my YouTube all the time. Him and a lot of other good players, but he's the one that sticks out a lot. Just his skill set, a lot of things that he does, and just having an imagination on the floor is a big thing. Being courageous. So I definitely probably had that picture in my head going out on the floor.
How much of a focus is it been for you guys to get off to a good start? I know since you've been here, you've had some time for you had to dig out of the way that you started the season.
It's going to be good for us, especially for our energy and for our confidence going into these next few, from one game to another. In these first 12 to 15 games, we're playing really, really good teams. So it's important for us to start off good and develop a chemistry on the floor as we do off the floor.
Brandan, you talked about the expectations the team has for itself. What are those expectations?
Like I said, to get better every single day. We know eventually we want to be a championship team, but just taking it day by day and continuing to learn what we need to learn offensively, defensively, things to simplify the game, just different things, so we know what to look forward to.
Where did you make the next step as a player? What do you think that is for you?
Where is the next step?
Yeah, for you as a player, where do you think you said, hey, maybe in the offseason, hey, this is where I've got to go next, and why?
Just being adaptable to everybody that's on the floor, offensively, defensively, doing whatever it takes to win. We know some nights it may be scoring, some nights it might be rebounding the basketball, some nights it may be guarding the best player on the floor. So just whatever it takes to win the basketball, each basketball game.
Do you all talk about that, or is it just kind of organically once the game starts? You, BI, CJ, maybe how you attack them, how you fit, where the strengths and weaknesses are?
It's always communication, whether it's with Willie, whether it's with CJ, Zion, everybody on the floor. Everybody has a line of communication where we can talk about different things on the floor, whatever we see, how we want to attack on the offense and defensive end. And it's pretty much every day. Whatever we see, we might send a text to each other. We might say it on the floor. We might say it before the game. But it's always communication.
Thank you.
Thank you, buddy.
Good luck.